First of all, a very big welcome to everybody here today. Many of you will have been at yesterday's extraordinary success, our People's Assembly Against Austerity, with thousands of people participating, so I hope you all enjoyed that and aren't too tired. A particular additional welcome to people who weren't able to join us there but have come here today to take forward discussion on the European angle of the struggle against austerity, because we know that all the issues that we were addressing yesterday with regard to the situation in Britain are also experienced across Europe, if not in much more severe and advanced forms, unfortunately. The Coalition of Resistance that is co-hosting this event with the Greece Solidarity Campaign has had solidarity and collaboration with anti-austerity groups across Europe as a very strong focus over the last few years, is keen to pursue this discussion. And so here in our first session we're going to be having a survey and analysis of the resistance against austerity across Europe today. Just an addition or a change, slight change, amendment to the agenda. Lindsay's pointed out we don't seem to have enough time to go out and get our lunch, so we're going to make the break after the first session half an hour instead of 15 minutes. So there'll be an opportunity for you to go out and get some food then. So first of all though, without further ado, I'd like to welcome the two comrades that are on the platform so far. We have Mr. Yannis Baskosos, who is a member of the Syriza Secretariat. We're all very familiar with the great advance of Syriza within Greece, the enormously strong support for Syriza there, and all our eyes are upon what you're doing there. We'd like to hear first of all from you about the situation currently in Greece, and then we're very pleased to welcome Çağdaş Chamberlain from Diner, who will be talking to us a bit about the situation currently in Turkey. So, first of all, Yannis.
Thank you. Comrades and friends, Greece witnesses the most severe consequences of the financial, social and political crisis brought about by the implementation of the austerity measures of the memorandum. The demolition of social and public services and privatization of social wealth is an everyday reality. We witness the employment of political strategies towards a huge redistribution of wealth in favor of the capital and against the working class and the petit bourgeois. And all of this justified on the grounds of the paying out of the public debt. The implementation of these policies requires the repression or even violation of the democratic rights of the people. Practices deviating from the normal parliamentary procedures in favor of the executive power decrease and humiliate the role of the parliament and of the representative processes. On top of that, a coup-style governmental decision shut down the public broadcaster, ERT, while firing 2,500 employees and violating the right to information and culture. The government aimed towards the deprivation of the people from the public television in favor of governmental misinformation and propaganda provided insultingly by the private media. A big movement in favor of the public television and its employees spread all over the country and shook the coalition memorandum government. The great public movement which stood against the memoranda and the implementation of the austerity measures, was once again there to resist to the governmental attempts at shutting down the public broadcaster, as well as numerous other public services, hospitals, and other public social welfare entities, which led millions of people to unemployment. The movement, which once turned around the balance of powers at Syntagma Square and rendered Syriza the leading political power in the country, seems ready to resist, be solidary, and to overturn the worn political system of the pro-memorandum parties. The latter have extorted the votes of the citizens by way of blackmailing dilemmas and false promises in order to implement measures against the interest of the people. The radical left, with Syriza as its leading power, is there and supports the movements any way it can, without paternalizing them and without trying to take advantage. The need for a government of the left which will overturn the memorandum and which will impose redistribution of wealth and power by actively supporting the working class is obvious. Our government will also provide for productive and social reconstruction. Syriza, being a party of the united left, insistently calls the rest of the left forces to unite. Syriza has raised to be the major political force ready to embark on the huge task of radical political changes. Such an undertaking needs to join forces with the movements and political forces of the left all over Europe. We know very well that the balance of powers and the rule of dominant powers needs to change throughout Europe in order for the Greek movement to be successful. A movement based on solidarity and progress for the European people, Syriza will do whatever is required to come up to this task. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. And now, Chardash, over to you. If you press the thing in the middle there.
Okay, yeah. I assume everyone can hear me now. Okay. First of all, let me just tell you that I'm from Daima Turkish and Kurdish Community Centre, as Kate has announced. We've been around since early 90s, where there was an influx of Turkish and Kurdish communities migrating from Turkey. We established with the intention of supporting that community, but since then we've always made every effort to ensure that the Turkish-speaking community take part in the struggle in this country, and that's what we will continue to do. We've been actively part of the cuts in this country, and we'll continue to do that. But as you know, as the Greek comrade has mentioned, it's an exciting times in Europe, and I'll also want to talk a bit about Turkey. A comrade has just recently been to Turkey with trade union representatives from RMT and UT, and he's written a bit about his observation. I'm not a great fan of reading a paper, but I think it'll be a good picture of what's happened, what's happening, and hopefully it'll give as much detail as possible to the conference. Now, as you know, the Gezi Park protest, which initially started on the 27th of May at Gezi Park in Taksim Square, against the transformation of the park into a shopping centre was initiated by Turkish Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan, and has faced excessive use of police force whom sprayed tear gas, water cannons filled with harmful acid at the people who were peacefully exercising their right to protest. Now, if we look over the last 10 years, we can see a government in Turkey where youth and